Yes, so we start with the past perfect. The past perfect, again, from its name, so the action started in past and completes its meaning in past too. So let us see this line, very important. You see, here we are in, you see, the action started before this relevant point. In past again, but before this relevant point. Started in past and complete its meaning in past to a relevant point in the past. This is again perfect. It perfects its meaning in past. That's why it is what past perfect. In contrast to the present perfect, which perfects its meaning in present. That's why again there will be some sort of interchangeability, confusion between past simple and past perfect because both of them started and ended. Both of them are what? Both of them are complete actions started and ending in past. You see, I say now to the present when I met him, a relevant point in the past. Met him. John had lived in Paris for 10 years. John had lived in Paris يعني for a period of time لكن when بالpast. In some contexts the simple past and the past perfect are interchangeable. You see here I can substitute the past perfect by the past simple. I ate my lunch after my wife came or had come home from her shopping. Now conjunction here is sufficient specification. Now see to indicate that the arrival from the shopping expedition had taken place before the eating. So the etc. time indication by means of the past perfect becomes redundant. This is the idea. Here you can substitute the past simple, the past perfect with the past time without any mistake by the time indication. But substituting the past perfect with the past simple, it is not something that simple, not that easy way. Okay? For example, look at this note. There is no interchangeability between the past perfect when the past of the perfect. Equal difference. See, there is a difference between past perfect and the past of the perfect. What does this mean? The past perfect إنه عند time أنا عارفه started ending at a particular or relevant point in past. لكن what is the past of the perfect? إنه أنا دا أحول إلى present perfect to be يعني all the forms that are in the present will be changed to what? To past forms, not time. Form, not time. بقى time نفسه. أنا غيرت بس الform. This will be occur where in direct and indirect speech. John tells me that he hasn't seen Mary since Monday. We have agreed, we have now noted that in changing from direct to direct, I will change all the present form to past form. بعول هذه الفورم he hasn't seen. لما أني أحول hasn't to the past, I will have he hadn't seen. My question is, can I substitute he hadn't seen by past simple? No. In such a case, it is not acceptable. So this is the idea. Again, let us study the past and the progressive aspect اللي هو past progressive, in which the action is cut. It has limited duration of an action. It has a limited duration of action. I was writing with a special pen for a period last night, but my hand got tired. This is the idea. Now the action was in progress and there is something cut the action or permits or doesn't permit the action to go on. Here it is called progressive or past progressive. It is a convenient device to indicate time span within which another event indicated by the simple past can be seen as taking place. يعني there is an action, there is an event in this past simple, cut the past perfect. While I was writing, the phone rang. You see, هذا past progressive. يعني when the action was in progress, but it is cut by what? Ringing, the phone rang. هذا past simple. Again, they are incomplete action. Let us see. He read a book that evening. He read a book means he finished reading the book. He finished reading the book. But when I say he was reading a book that evening, implies totally he didn't finish reading the book. Yeah. Let us see this example. This is more strong one. When I say, if I want to draw a comparison between, or paraphrasing for these two sentences, the girl drowned in the lake means totally the girl now is dead. She is dead. She drowned in the lake, so she is dead. In contrast, the girl was drowning in the lake means no, she is still alive because someone dived in and saved her. So the action here is complete. As a result, she was saved and she is alive now. But here, no, there is no someone to save her and she is dead now. Again, the habits can be expressed by the progressive past, but there are some sort of condition, some sort of contrast between temporary, sporadic, and pejorative referred to. What does this mean? At that time, we were bathing every day. At that time, we were bathing every day. Here, at that time in past, we were bathing every day. Here it is what? As a habit for us. But keep in mind, the habit is temporary. Temporary where at that time. It is ungrammatical to use the progressive past to express habits if the action is sporadic. If the action is sometimes occurred, sometimes no. That's why this sentence is ungrammatical, because of the use of sometimes. The use of sometimes means the action is not pejorative. The action it will be cut. Not it is for one line, not permanent at that time. So if you want to correct such a sentence, either you can say we were always walking to the office. يعني تبدل sometimes with always to have a pejorative action, just like this one. My brother was always losing his keys. Here, always, it is a general habit for my brother to lose his keys. Yeah. The perfect progressive. Perfect progressive. Let us compare between these three sentences. The first one, by a limited duration or incompleteness, and current relevance can be jointly expressed with the perfect progressive. Let us compare between these three sentences. The first sentence with the present perfect. First sentence with the present perfect, in which is the action started in past and the result of which is what? In the present. He has eaten my chocolates. So as a result, now at present, they are all gone. So as a result, they are all gone. But he was eating my chocolates. Here, the action was in progress in past, but I stopped the action. I stopped him. Stop the process of eating. Okay. This action or the process, the steps, if I want to express that, for example, my baby was eating and I stopped him. So there is an event or there is a result in the present. There was an action was in progress in past. I want to express such an action. إنه كان was eating, I stopped him, there is a result in the act in the present. Why? By using the present perfect progressive. The present perfect progressive. He has been eating my chocolates. He has إنه عندي results. As a result of stopping him of eating my chocolates, there are some left. There are some left. Frequently, the perfect progressive implies an especially recent activity, the effect of which are obvious, and the adverb just commonly accompanies this usage. Like, it has rained a great deal since you were here. Means as a result, the ground is wet. So you see, it has just. We use just. Means the result or the action was recent. Yeah. Look at the item 3.35, verbal meaning and the progressive. In this level, we are going to if you remember, we classify our verbs are classified into stative and dynamic. At this level, we are going to know what are the categories of the dynamic and what are the categories of stative verbs. Generally speaking, dynamic verbs have five groups or 5 categories. Dynamic, in which they accept, they permit the progressive aspect. There is an action, there is a changing activity. So the dynamic is starting with the activity verb. Means there is an action, abandon, ask, beg, call, drink, eat, hope. They are listen, look at, إذا سوفت مقارنة, look at, it seems to be just like see. Look at, dynamic, see is stative. Look at, listen. Listen is dynamic, but here is stative. Yeah. Process verbs. Process. You see, change. Like, change, deteriorate. You see, change, from a case to another case. Deteriorate, from a mess to something neat. Grow, from small to big. Mature, from young to old. Slow down, from fast to slow. وهكذا. There is what change. Both activity and process verbs are frequently used in a progressive aspect to indicate incomplete event in a progress. And the verbs of bodily sensation, ache, feel, hurt, ick, can have either simple or a progress. يعني ذول dynamic will process frequently used with the progress. لكن ذول verbs of bodily sensation, they either take the progressive or the simple with little difference in meaning. See, I feel. You say, I feel sad. I ache. I'm aching. It hurts me. Transitional event verbs. Transitional, transit from a point to another point. See, arrive, from here to there. Die, from life to death. Fall, from up to down. Land, from up to down. Leave, from now to then. وهكذا. Lose, from having to not having. هذه transitional events occur in progressive but with a change of meaning compared with simple aspect. The progressive implies inception. That is only the approach to the transition. يعني when I say he is leaving Baghdad. You see, this is what the approach, only the approach to the transition. Like he leaves Baghdad. Okay. هسه راح بعدين نعرفها what does this mean. The last one, momentary verbs. Momentary. From its name, moment. They are quick verbs, fast verbs. إذا حتى مرات شلون يعني they are hit, jump, kick, knock, nod, tap. You see? Have little duration and thus the progressive aspect powerfully suggest repetition. Say hitting, jumping, kicking, knocking. So these are the 5 categories of the dynamic verbs. What are the stative? The stative verbs are of 2 verbs or are of 2 categories. They are verbs of inert perception and cognition. Perception and cognition. All of us know what do they mean. Abhor, adore, believe, desire, detest, dislike, doubt, feel. You see, هسه صار عندي الفيل وهي مجموعة الديناميك وهي مجموعة الستيتيف. So what is the difference? You see? How can I differentiate between feel, dynamic feel and dynamic and stative feel? قلنا بالدynamic feel it is within the bodily sensation verbs. There is some sort of change in the verb in the body. Okay? From, for example, from I feel happy. عشان شنو sad. هسه صارت what? Happy. لكن here, just like there's a linking verb, just like seem, appear, okay? Guess, hate, hear, imagine, impress, intend, know, like, love. They are all what? Some of these have verbs may take other than a recipient subject, in which case they belong to a class, اللي هو dynamic. I think you are right. Not think it is a stative. Now عندي one. I think you are right. It is one. And the speaker is talking to a listener saying that you are right. I think you are right. But when I say I'm thinking of you all the time, and now there is someone, I am not talking to another one. I am not talking for someone before my eyes, in front of me. No. I'm thinking of you all the time, for example. يعني someone received my thinking. That's why it will be what? It will be a dynamic verb. That's why it takes the progressive aspect, ing. The second group, relational verbs. Relational, from its name, relates. It relates two entities together. For example, this chapter or this book contains 4 chapters, for example. This book contains, ما نقدر نقول is containing 4 chapters. It is only, they are only stated in the simple aspects. What else عندي? Again, as I have said, it is what link or make a relation between two entities, like belong to, concern, be verbs. You see the be verbs. Consist, contain, cause, depend on, deserve, equal, fit, have, include, evolve, وهكذا. So there is some sort of relation between two entities. So they are stative with simple aspects.